hunters are potentially catching a gigantic nerf going into the Edge of Fate. So when I was at Bungie HQ a little less than a month ago playtesting the Edge of Fate, I noticed something interesting when we were in the very first campaign mission. I threw my melee ability at an enemy, and then I did Gambler's Dodge next to another enemy to refund my melee back, but I noticed something interesting happened. I didn't get my entire melee ability back. I got like half of it back. Unfortunately, in the moment, it didn't hit me, but the more I've been thinking about it and the longer I've had to kind of like synthesize all of the information, the more I'm like, oh God, this is actually a gigantic nerf and potentially a really big problem. Now, the reason it's working this way is because of the new stat rework, and we just saw specifics about this in the TWAB yesterday, where you will no longer just get flat amounts of ability regeneration from ability regeneration sources anymore. Things like armor mods, bolstering detonation and dynamo, things like exotic perks like Inmost Light, and abilities like Gambler's Dodge. You won't just get a flat amount anymore. You will get an amount dependent on how much stat points you have in the stat specific to the ability that you're giving energy to. And according to the TWAB from 2 days ago, which aligned with my playtest experience, at 70 stat points for a particular stat, your ability energy gains for that stat from external sources will match what we currently have in the live game. Anything lower than 70, and you'll see ability energy gains less than what we see in the live game, and anything above 70, you will see ability energy gains more than what we have in the live game. The reason this affects Hunters so negatively in a way that it doesn't negatively impact Titan and Warlock whatsoever is because Hunters are the only class in the entire game that have a class ability that specifically refunds ability energy, and it also just so happens to be by far their best class ability as well. And so if things stay this way, I do want to be explicitly clear, this was an early playtest of the build. Things are subject to change, and it's entirely possible that this was unintentional on Bungie's end, and now that we're raising awareness to it, they're like, oh yeah, wait a minute, this isn't supposed to also affect Gambler's Dodge, we can change it. So fingers crossed on that, but on the off chance it doesn't, the way it will work in the live game is that if you have Gambler's Dodge on Hunter, you will only get a full melee charge back if you have a minimum of 70 melee stat points on your build, which basically means if you want the best class ability on Hunter to do the same thing that it currently does in the live game, you basically lose 70 of your stat points in any Hunter build that you ever make moving forward. And the reason this is so bad for Hunter in a way that's not bad for Warlock and Titan in any capacity is because Warlock and Titan don't need to invest any stat points whatsoever in the Edge of Fate to get the base functionality of their class abilities that they have in the live game in the Edge of Fate. The healing amount of the Warlock Healing Rift is not impacted by stats whatsoever. The damage bonus from the Empowering Rift, not impacted by stats. The durability of Titan Barricade, not impacted by stats. This would basically be like, hey, if you have 0 health stat, then your Warlock Healing Rift, it doesn't heal you at all. It's just a shiny circle. That's basically what's going to happen with Gambler's Dodge if you have 0 melee. It's just going to, yeah, it is Gambler's Dodge, but it's not actually going to refund melee ability energy. It's just going to be like a long roll. So hopefully Bungie takes another look at this, because honestly, I feel like this is really bad for